Hello everyone, thank you for watching. Today we'll be dealing with a revision on range and pasture management. So literally what we are trying to talk about when we are talking of range and pasture management, we are talking of grasses, palatable grasses, bushes, and legumes that are growing in a particular area for the animals to feed. And when we are talking of a range, we are talking of all edible plant species, all legumes and bushes, those that are poisonous and those that are not poisonous, that are growing in a particular area for the animals to graze. And when we are talking of rangeland, we are talking of an area for the livestock, for the animals to feed on. So range has to be very well managed and pastures have to be very well managed. Why? Because livestock farmers highly depend on these pastures. So they have to be very well managed. These pastures have to be very well managed. Why? So that the soil can benefit, so that the animals can benefit, so that the plants themselves can also benefit. So now let's talk about why is it important. How would the soil be able to manage? How would the soil benefit from well-managed pastures? Soil will be protected from all agents of erosion. The soil will be protected. If pastures are well managed, the soil will be protected from all agents of soil erosion. That means soil erosion will not happen there, or there would either be less at least. These agents being water and wind. So when the range is well managed, it is protected from such aspects. And on the other hand, if range and pastures are well managed, there will be a lot of soil cover for that soil to benefit. The soil will have a large soil cover. It will be protected from heavy rains, from heavy drops of rains, from heavy frosts, from heavy hails. So it will not be eroded. There will also be less evaporation. The soil will evaporate, the water from the soil will evaporate less. So this is to say that the soil will keep a lot of moisture if evaporation, there is less evaporation on that particular soil. Organic matter also will increase. There will be a lot of organic matter because all the plant waste, all the plant leaves will decay there and rot and bring back the nutrients into the soil. And now, how would the animals benefit if range and pastures are very well managed? There will be enough of the plants there. There will be a lot of them. So if there are a lot of them, that means the grasses will not be all grazed because now there is a lot of them for the animals to choose where to graze. And again, plants will be given enough time to recover. Plants will recover quickly if that particular length or range is well managed. There will also be plants of high nutritive value. Plants will be very palatable, will have very high nutrients, and they will also reproduce because the plants will be allowed to grow enough to form the seeds. So if they form the seeds, that is to say they will be able to reproduce. And now, what are the importance of managing those pastures for the animals? The animals will grow healthy. The animals will resist diseases. The animals will resist parasites, and they will even grow quicker. That is to say, now you will, as a farmer, a livestock farmer, your animals will get to the market on time, and you will be able to make higher sales and higher profits because your pastures are nutritious. So your animals are able to grow quickly. And they are even able to resist the diseases and parasites, so they are not sick. You are not depending on any veterinary doctor to save your livestock. Okay, now because we are trying to manage these pastures, we ought to have some grazing systems that we can implement in this particular area so that we benefit wholly to this area. So now going to the grazing systems, the first grazing system that will look upon is intensive grazing. Intensive grazing is whereby the land is managed. Is whereby the land is managed. It is divided into paddocks. It is divided into camps by means of fences. It is very well managed for these animals to graze in a very well managed area. And because we are trying to analyze and see which grazing system would be better, then we have to look for their advantages and disadvantages. Now we'll go to the advantages and disadvantages of this intensive grazing method. This grazing method's advantages is that plants are given enough time to rest, enough time to recover. And if the plants are given enough time to rest and enough time to recover, it means there will be lots of plants in that particular. They will not get finished. They will not vanish. And again, animals can be separated. Animals can be segregated according to sex. The male ones in that paddock, the female one in that paddock, the sick one in that paddock, and the healthy one in another paddock. The young ones, the lambs, the calves in another paddock. So the animals can be, it could be easy to separate the animals. Diseases also will be controlled if we are using intensive grazing method. The diseases will be able to be controlled. What are the disadvantages? The disadvantages that it is very expensive, to construct fences. It is very expensive, and this is to say, in each and every paddock, a farmer will need to construct a dam for those animals to have water nearby. So it will also increases the expenses, and it will be very expensive. It also needs skilled people to construct these fences. And another method is strip grazing. In strip grazing, the land is this form is like kind of this strip method is kind of the same as rotational grazing, but now the paddocks and the camps are divided into smaller strips for these animals to graze. And then we go to zero grazing. Zero grazing, as the name says, is a form of grazing whereby grazing is not allowed there at all. What is done is farmers would rather go there and cut the grass and harvest the grass and take such grasses and vegetations to a camp where the animals are for them to eat. They are not allowed into this camp. They are not allowed there at all. An example is like, let's take an example of where an orchard, where there is an orchard, or where there are forest trees that are still needs to be allowed to grow. We cannot take the animals there because they will trample those trees there. So what we would rather do, we'd rather cut that grass and take it to where the animals are for them to graze. Now, another one is rotational grazing. In rotational grazing, this rotational grazing is like the land is divided into paddocks by fences. It is divided into camps and paddocks by means of fences, and the animals are moved from one place to the other, from one paddock to the other. This is rotational grazing. So now we go to extensive grazing. Extensive grazing. Extensive grazing is a form of kind of like it is practiced here in Lesotho. It is an old grazing method that we practice. The animals are taken by a head boy. The sheep, the goats are taken care of by a shepherd outside and are allowed to move freely, and they will be allowed to come to the kraals at night time. So that is extensive grazing, where the animals are allowed to graze just anywhere. So now, there are some very important concepts in this topic when we are talking of range and pasture management. there are some very important aspects, which are stocking rate. Stocking rate and um, stocking rate and carrying capacity of the land. Stocking rate is how many or a maximum number of livestock or animals that can be allowed into a particular area and graze there without degrading the soil, without reducing the palatability or the nutritive value of that land, without damaging that land. So when we are talking of this system, we are talking of a system whereby we will say, when forming a formula, livestock unit per hectare, that is stocking rate, livestock unit LSU per hectare. That is how many animals, a maximum number of animals, livestock unit, how many animals, a maximum number of animals that can graze in a particular area, hectare, without degrading the soil, without damaging the soil, without reducing the palatability and the nutritive value of the soil. That is a stocking rate. And now we come to carrying capacity. Carrying capacity. How many livestock units can that particular area carry for a certain period of time without degrading? Now we are saying carrying capacity. Carrying capacity, how many animals can this land carry? This is to say, when we are trying to formulate a formula, we will say carrying capacity of a land, carrying capacity of hectare. This hectare can carry a certain number of animals. Hectares divided by livestock units. Now, carrying capacity is the ability of the land, the ability of a certain land to support and carry a number of animals without getting damaged, without degrading, without losing its value. That is carrying capacity of that land or that area. Now, it also, we have some effects of overgrazing. If you can take a larger number of livestock, let's say the carrying capacity of a certain period, of a certain land is 5 livestock units in a week. Now, if you can take 10 livestock units into that land in a week, you will be damaging that land. And you will be causing overstocking. That will be overstocking. So now let's look at the effects of overstocking. What is overstocking? In fact, not overstocking. Yes, overstocking. What is overstocking? It is to allow a larger number of animals into an area. A larger number of animals than the expected one. We just made an example that a particular area can carry 5 livestock units in a week. Now a certain farmer takes 10 livestock units into that area. That is overstocking, because he has placed a larger number of animals into that area than that area can carry. That is overstocking. So now, what are the effects of this overstocking? If you overstock, your animals will suddenly lose weight because they will not have enough to eat. They will lose weight. There will be soil erosion in that area because the soil will be trampled by many animals, larger number of animals than expected. Land will therefore degrade as a result. It will lose its nutritive value. It will lose its nutrients. Those are the harmful effects of overstocking. And now, overgrazing will happen there. Why is it a bad thing for overgrazing to happen? Why? What are the effects of overgrazing? Now, if you allow a larger number of livestock units into an area, we said there will be overgrazing. The harmful effects of that is that there will be no soil cover. The soil will be left bare. The soil will be left uncovered, and erosion will suddenly happen. And if erosion suddenly happens, a lot of nutrients will be lost from that soil, and land will degrade as a result, will lose its value. Its value will degrade, and therefore, the animals will lose weight. The animals will now lose weight. The animals will not grow quickly. The animals will not reproduce. Therefore, you will be harming and damaging and degrading and lengthening your time, or the time it would take for your livestock to get into the market, and you will be a farmer that is losing. You will not be producing to get profits. This is why it is very important. This topic is very important to manage the pastures and the range. Thank you very much. I hope we meet again in our next topic. Thank you. Enjoy your time.